Welcome in to Rover Sports. And guys, it's a pleasure to be joined by one of the best YouTubers out there. It is my friend, Mr. Baddog. We are late here on a Tuesday night, getting everything together before March Madness, and it's a very busy time of year. And I want to thank Baddog for coming on. And Baddog, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me on your channel, man. We tried to do this once before. Kind of messed up a little bit, and I'm glad that it's working this time, and I'm looking forward to working with you, my man, without a doubt.
Cross your fingers, man.
I know.
Cross your fingers that it works.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, and last time we were getting ready for a season. You do a great job with the Sports Fury guys, and you had us going 0-4 to start the year. You had us. I don't know, what did you have us before the season?
I actually had us at 9-7. I thought we would do a lot better in the second half. I think I had us 3-7 before. I think I had us 3-7 before the bye, and 6-2. Or I'm sorry, 3-5 before the bye, and 6-2 after the bye. I think that was how. I think that's how I did it.
You had the Giant. Oh, okay, but basically not a playoff team.
No. Well, I thought maybe a wild card team, but everything would have had it broke right for us, and obviously it didn't.
So I wanted to ask you just about the initial wave of the Beckham deal and everything that kind of went into that entire day. Where were you when the news happened, and just talk about if you expect what you expected from the trade, if you expected the trade to happen.
It's funny. That Monday, the day before, I did the video on the Olivier Vernon trade. I say right at the end of the video, I say, don't be surprised if Odell Beckham's next. I say it right in the video because I said Gettleman's looking to get rid of these guys. Don't be surprised if he's next. Now, I didn't really believe it when I said it. It was kind of in the back of my head that could happen, but I didn't believe it. I was actually sitting on my couch, and I was just playing with my son, watching TV, and I think I saw a text message come through maybe like 40 minutes after this happened. And I just saw a horrible deal from my brother-in-law, and I'm like, they traded Beckham. So I look, and I'm like, oh, my God. I'm like, I got to do a video. And then I'm like, I got to go live. I have to talk about this.
Yeah.
And once I went live, there was like 350 people in there like that. I mean, and people are like, I got to hear bad, I guess to say. But I honestly think it was a good trade. I thought it was a good trade considering the Raiders gave up a third and a fifth-round pick for Antonio Brown, who puts up better numbers than Odell Beckham. We got a first and a third and a 23-year-old safety. We get rid of that cap space. We get rid of the distraction. It didn't bother me that much. I thought it was a good move for the Giants. I thought they had to make the move.
I was more just in terms of getting rid of Odell Beckham.
Yeah.
So the fact that Dave Gettleman did this, because Dave Gettleman, if you listen to the Dave Gettleman press conferences, he says, he wants guys that are professional football players that hold themselves accountable in the locker room. He always says that. And I thought it was hypocritical of him to give Beckham that huge contract in the first place. Right. So I thought that whole deal was hypocritical. Now, Dave Gettleman saying that, we weren't going to trade Odell Beckham, that clearly was not true. They were clearly shopping the guy.
Oh, yeah. They signed him to trade him. They had a lot more leverage with him under contract rather than if they try to trade him knowing he could be a free agent the next year and he might not sign with the team they traded him. There's no doubt Gettleman signed him to trade him. And he knew he was going to trade him as soon as he got there. Dave Gettleman, like most GMs, they can't come out and say they're shopping a player. They won't get as much for it. And obviously it's going to hurt the team's chemistry if the player knows he's being shopped around. Why would he want to play for a team that doesn't want him? So, especially a guy like Odell Beckham. So, I think that's why Gettleman just kept saying, don't give up on talent. We didn't sign him to trade him. He was just trying to keep him happy and get through the 2018 season, without any extra distractions.
And the funny part is that he created such a lie. Dave Gettleman really just lied so bad. And now fans are not liking him because – he's saying that he didn't, initiate the trade talks when he did initiate the talks. Yeah. I don't get why Dave Gettleman didn't just say, I'm not here to talk about players' contracts. He seemed to go out of his way to even talk about Beckham. Do you think he might have lost value there?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of fans obviously upset with the fact that Beckham is gone. He's a very popular player here. He's a very electric player. He's one of the best receivers in the league, if not the best receiver in the league. So I understand a lot of fans being upset at him, just them trading him and the way Gettleman handled it. I mean, he probably could have handled it better, but
Yeah.
this is all going to blow over, and people will totally forget about it when we're a winning team again.
But Baddog, I mean, this Giants offense has just been – I think people forget just how terrible the New York Giants have been to watch play football. I mean, that game against the Dallas Cowboys, I mean, it's just Eli Manning getting sacked. It's no offense at all. It's not even like Odell Beckham, like when you lob the ball to him, is taking over games. You know, this team is so feast or famine. And actually, this football team, actually just can't seem to – generate any consistent offense.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's been so painful to watch this team for the past, 4 or 5 years, 3-4 years.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, the offensive lines, man, are extremely poor. And once we got Jamon Brown in the second half and Solder and Hernandez built that chemistry on the left side, you started to see Barkley run the ball a lot more and become a lot more effective, which in turn made our offense a lot better. I mean, we scored 3 games, against the Redskins, against the Colts, against the Cowboys. We scored 40 points, 27 points, and 35 points without Odell Beckham. So as long as they can run the ball and we have some decent receivers and we build our offensive line, I think the offense is good enough to win games. The defense is really where we faltered. I mean, we blew 4 games late. The 63-yard field goal against the Panthers was terrible. We lost on a 4th and 15 to the Cowboys. We blew a 36-yard touchdown at the end of the game. We blew a 21-7 lead against the Colts. We also what was the other game? We blew a 19-3 lead against the Eagles.
The Eagles.
I mean, just the defense blew a lot of these games. We could have been 9-7 if the defense could play.
Makes sense. I mean, that Eagles game was for sure a winnable game. And there's no pressure on the quarterback at all. And that is such a huge issue. But a lot of the New York Giants fans with Odell Beckham are just I don't get like why keeping Odell or why keeping anybody is a problem. Like I'm so on board with changing up everything that this organization is doing. I really am on board. And last year was a very tough schedule. This year we play the AFC East, the Miami Dolphins, Buffalo Bills, Arizona Cardinals. I just want to stay in the hunt this year, and I just want us to be near 500 or just really be competing in these games.
Yeah, me too. And again, having an easier schedule, I think that definitely helps. And again, it'll be interesting to see what we do in the draft. I mean, I have no idea where Gettleman's going because we can't trust a damn thing he saes. So I don't know where he's going. He says you don't want this guy, he might end up with this guy. He says he wants this guy, he might not end up with this guy. Who knows? But
well, everything Dave has done, with Olivier to Landon Collins has kind of been like what I've expected. Will Hernandez and Saquon last year. So I guess we are not trading for a quarterback if I had to guess in this year's draft. But I've liked the moves. And what do you think about 17? Do you think that the Giants are interested in your guy? Do you think they're interested in a quarterback?
It's funny because Gettleman has done pretty much everything that I wanted him to do. I wanted the Giants to get rid of JPP. He got rid of him. I wanted the Giants to get rid of Olivier Vernon. He got rid of him. 2 years ago, after we lost week 1 to the Cowboys, I said the Giants should explore trading Odell Beckham. Gettleman had the cojones to pull up that trade. I wanted him to let Landon Collins walk. I don't want Landon Collins. He was overrated. The Redskins gave him $84 million for 6 years.
Yeah.
That's way too much money. We could have never afforded that, so I'm glad we let him walk. We couldn't afford these guys. We got one of the best linemen in football in Zeitler for a guy that's overpaid and is hurt all the time, and Olivier Vernon. So I love the moves. As far as the trade, I can't see us trading up. If we traded 17 to move up to get Kyler Murray, in essence, it would be that we traded Odell Beckham for Kyler Murray. And I don't think we can do that. I think our team we have so many holes here that we need to build through the draft. I mean, you know me. I would kill for Kyler Murray on this team. I would kill to have that guy as our quarterback. But I don't want to trade up to get him. I don't want to trade up to get anybody. If Murray's not there, take Devin White. I'm happy with that.
I mean, Devin White is still kind of a risk, and I'm not sure that if the Giants don't take Devin White, because we have Marcus Golden now, we have B.J. Goodson, Lorenzo Carter, and Alec Ogletree, who I don't think that Gettleman is going to quit on. Now, I will say this. I want the trading to stop. Like the Sterling Shepard better still be on this team because I like Shepard. And I don't really want to see Shepard go. Now, the thing is about Kyler Murray that's so sad is that – did you get a chance to watch the pro day, by the way, the Kyler Murray pro day?
I did.
I watched a lot of Oklahoma games like you did. And, you know, Baker Mayfield versus Ohio State was really the game where I'm like, Baker Mayfield will be able to play in the NFL. Like, this guy has the arm strength to play. Or the TCU Big 12 championship. With Kyler Murray, in every game, even the TCU game, the Texas Tech game, these receivers are all so wide open. FAU, the pocket is so easy that even subpar quarterbacks will be able to throw it into windows. The pro day was the first time where I'm like, holy shit, this guy is really a pocket passer. Like, even against Alabama, it was mostly CD Lamb. Were you even surprised a little bit by the pro day how good this guy could be in the pocket?
No, because I know he's a pocket guy. I mean, I watch every game, so I know he goes through progressions. I mean, granted, it does help because he had one of the best offensive lines in football. I'm not gonna sit there and say he didn't. I mean, you got Cody Ford, who's coming out in the draft. There's another guy the Giants can look at 17 if he's there. You got Creed Humphreys, who's one of the best centers in the country, and he's only a freshman. I mean, they have a great offensive line there, and they have great running backs in Trey Sermon, and obviously Ronnie Anderson got hurt, so that didn't help.
Ben Powers, I think.
Yeah, so as their lineman, right?
Yes.
So, and then he's got two great receivers. Now, CeeDee Lamb was featured a lot against Alabama because Hollywood Brown was injured. I mean, I'm pretty sure he played in that game, but he was a non-factor because he had the broken foot or whatever he's got. So, not to mention Grant Calcaterra is also a great tight end. So he's got a lot of talent there, but he's so fast, and he does go through progression in the pocket, but he can't escape the pocket. And what I like about Kyler Murray is when he throws on a run, how quick his hip torque is to square his shoulders and be accurate down the field on the run. It's just he's got incredible talent.
Yeah.
The only thing people worry about him
in the lower body.
If he was 6'2", this guy there'd be no question about his greatness.
Right. I think that's why he's so good at his footwork because he's small. You know, he's able to control that part of the game. But the guy's demeanor is very interesting. He's very quiet. Like against Texas, he was crying when he lost that game.
Yes.
So he's not
losing. You don't know what it is to lose
at all.
You know?
Seeing his dad, Kevin Murray, who's a complete stud. I mean, Kevin Murray's just a freaking beast. You know, you don't want to. You know, Kevin Murray is just like an unflappable kind of dad that just prepared his son for just a lot of success. Now at A&M, he wasn't that good. But I look at Kyler Murray and the way he threw in the pro day, he throws right up there with Brees and Wilson. Just if you put Brees and Wilson in a drill session throwing the ball, the guy can do it. And I think this guy as a prospect, I'm trying to think. I mean, would you take Mayfield or Murray, honestly?
It's hard to say because I think Murray was better in college, but I've seen Baker at the NFL level. So I don't want to compare Kyler to Baker because he hasn't played in the NFL yet. So it's hard to say what Kyler Murray is going to do. Give him a year in the NFL, then I can make the comparison because just because a guy's great in college doesn't mean he's going to transition to the NFL well. But the one thing I'll say about Kyler Murray is when he's got a baseball background, which certainly helps when he helped Pat Mahomes.
Right.
There were so many Giants fans that weren't on board with this guy when he declared himself eligible to the draft. Everybody knows I was on board like that. I knew immediately this guy was incredibly talented, and I told a lot of Giants fans, by the time the draft comes around, I will have you convinced that you want to take Kyler Murray. And a lot of them were going my way, but once these guys saw the pro day, and my brother-in-law is a perfect example. He texted me, he goes, dude, he said, Kyler Murray is unbelievable at the pro day. He was better than Baker Mayfield. He goes, I can't believe I'm going to go all in on a 5'9.5" quarterback. I want Kyler Murray. And he was not into Kyler Murray. But the pro day made a lot of people stand up and take notice that, Baddog knows what the hell he was talking about when it comes to Kyler Murray.
Yeah, and you add in the personality of Kyler Murray, and he's not like an obnoxious guy. He's not cocky, really, even less than like Baker Mayfield. And I even think that Dwayne Haskins is a little bit like on social media a lot. Like I think the guy is like a big talker, like wanting to be with the New York Giants. And I never was on the Haskins bandwagon. Now, a lot of Giants fans at 6 are really going to want Dwayne Haskins. A lot of Giants fans think that if Odell Beckham stayed with this team and you replace Eli Manning and put in a young arm that could throw the ball down the field, that the offense just would have popped overnight.
Right.
And what do you think about that whole philosophy and about Dwayne Haskins at 6?
I wouldn't kill me if we drafted him at 6. I've never been a big Dwayne Haskins guy myself. I don't really think that the Urban Meyer system translates to the NFL. You look at Tim Tebow, that's always the guy I look at, that such an amazing college quarterback but failed in the NFL. I was worried about – Haskins has a great arm. There's no doubt about that. He throws a deep ball really well. But I was worried about not just his 40 speed, because who cares about that? It really doesn't matter. But he seems like he just moves in slow motion when he drops back. Like it seemed like a 7-step drops took forever to get to the his back foot. And when you don't have a great offensive line and you don't have a mobile quarterback and you're a rookie, I mean, you're going to get smacked around. That's going to mess with his confidence. So I worry about the offensive line and Dwayne Haskins, where with a Kyler Murray, he can escape the pocket and throw on the run better than a Dwayne Haskins can. So that's why when guys are like, oh, Murray's going to get killed, like, no, Murray knows how to slide. Murray knows how to avoid hits. Murray knows how to go down when he's under pressure. He doesn't take big hits. I'm worried that Dwayne Haskins, who's a big target, will take big hits. You compare him to Ben Roethlisberger, I think that's a great comparison.
Now, are you kind of getting irritated by the mainstream media, Fox Sports, Cowherd, Stephen A. Kellerman? I don't know how much do you watch of the mainstream media talking about the New York Giants in this kind of negative light about Dave Gettleman? How much noise have you heard? And does it really bother you? Does it motivate you? Are you more motivated for this season than past seasons? What's been your emotions like considering the mainstream media and the critique of Dave Gettleman?
Yeah, it ticks me off. It does, because not even before the Beckham thing, the Landon Collins thing aggravated the living hell out of me. It was reading the media. I don't really listen to the media, but I'll read it.
Like an NJ.com, like an article.
Right. I'll read articles. I'll read NFL.com articles or whatever, 24/7 sports articles. What's the other one?
Well, NJ, there is a message board, like a Big Blue View or something. Yeah.
But I read these and they're saying, oh, it's a disaster. The Atlanta Collins thing's a disaster, especially now that they end up with the Redskins, and what a stupid move to let him walk. And I'm just sitting there going, how overrated can one safety be? This guy was one-dimensional. He could not cover my mother, okay? If you watch him, he gets destroyed by every tight end in the league. He's great in the box, but you don't want to pay a safety $14 million a year to play in the box. That's what your linebackers are for.
And I can't remember him intercepting a pass. I mean, in 2016, the guy was everywhere. I can't imagine him intercepting a ball anymore.
Yeah, in 2016, he picked off 5 passes in the first 8 games of the season. A couple of them were tipped up in the air, like the Rams game was the big one in London where he had 2 interceptions. He returned the one for the touchdown. He didn't have any after that. I think he had 1 in 2017. He didn't have any last year. He didn't have any sacks last year. He didn't have any turnovers last year, and he got brutalized. And his PFF rating was ranked 43rd amongst NFL safeties. And everyone's like, oh, Baddog, he's a 3-time Pro Bowler. I'm like, the Pro Bowl is a joke. The Pro Bowl is nothing. I don't measure a player's talent. That's a popularity contest.
That's exactly right.
So,
and Landon Collins, it's so much about marketability. I mean, the Honey Badger, we know Tyrann Mathieu because of the marijuana and getting drafted in the 7th round, and because of the way that the Honey Badger has a unique look to him. Yeah. And Landon Collins, from Alabama, number 21, he just brought that edge, and he was the guy that ousted Eli Apple. So you really felt like Landon is the leader. Landon is the guy directing the defense. Mm-hmm. And Landon Collins is a name that even other fan bases can kind of remember when they're cut. That's why I think he got invited to the Pro Bowls, just because it's Landon Collins. It's like Clinton Dix, or it's Brian Dawkins was a great player, but his stardom even took off because of the pregame dance, because of Dawkins the rallier. And that's why people, they don't really watch Giants football. They think that the Giants are – the mainstream media thinks the Giants are completely rebuilding this season, What do you think about rebuilding? What do you think about Landon going about what we got back? Because I don't really think we're rebuilding that much. I don't think we're taking that big of a dip.
It's funny you mentioned that because I don't think so either. Because I said this in one of the videos too that I did, and really on offense, what have we changed except for Odell Beckham? That's obviously a big change. We improved our offensive line by getting Zeitler in here. You know, Gettleman's going to get a right tackle in the draft. I got to imagine he's going to address the right tackle. So our line is pretty solid. We got Saquon Barkley back again. We still have Evan Ingram. We still have Sterling Shepard. And instead of Odell Beckham, okay, we got Golden Tate, a guy who's, pretty much a 1,000-yard receiver every year of his career except for last year because he went to the Eagles. And he just didn't fit in there. And it's tough to get acclimated to a new team and click immediately.
Exactly.
So I don't think we're rebuilding as much as people think. I tend to agree with you. I just think we're trying to get younger, and I think we have to do it through the draft. But obviously when you bring in a 31-year-old receiver and you have a 38-year-old quarterback and then you sign a Marcus Golden and an Antoine Bethea, they're veteran guys. That's not a rebuild. Gettleman is trying to win and rebuild at the same time. We'll see how it works.
You know what? I'm just excited for our games to be played at like 1 o'clock again, and just for us to be not mentioned in any headlines on Monday morning. Like, I want our games to be very quiet. The Eli Manning discussion to be really, really quiet. Everybody's obsessed with, replacing Eli Manning. And we just talked about the draft, and I guess if you're not going to go quarterback, why waste like a Kyle Lauletta sort of option? So it seems like at number 6, I would be excited for Devin White. Like, he's a name. He's a great leader. So number 6, you want Devin White. Who else would you want at number 6?
Well, I liked Montez Sweat till the heart thing came out. That kind of dampened me there.
Would you take a Metcalf to be this?
That's a reach at 6. I would rather take Hollywood Brown at 17 if we were going to go wide receiver if he's there. I think he's going to the Redskins at 15, but I really like – I'm a Sooner guy, so I really like Hollywood.
Well, he's very fast, but that's not what the Giants already have, like Tate, Sterling, right. Corey Coleman, that type of guy. And this is going to come up. Antonio Brown is in that kid's ear, I'll tell you, being his cousin. It doesn't mean he's going to cause the same problems of Antonio Brown. But I look at Metcalf. Metcalf kind of he did have kind of the same talents as like a big wide receiver. But it's too much wide receiver. I like the Brian Burns. If Brian Burns has his head on his shoulders, if he kills the interview, he's a possibility at 6.
Right.
Rashawn Gary is what do you think about Gary?
Yeah, I actually don't know much about Gary. I honestly don't. I can't say I know a lot about him because I don't watch a lot of Michigan football. So it's hard for me to actually – I don't watch a lot of Big Ten football. I just don't. I'm a Big 12 guy.
It just bores you.
Well, it's not the same. I watch a track meet, so
You're
I'm
on the roller coaster.
It's way different.
Yeah.
When they play their bowl games, I'll watch them. But I don't even think I watch. Oh, I watched. They got destroyed by Florida. That's right. So
the Big Ten. I'm trying to think. Paul Jameson might be the only guy that I know is like a real Big Ten YouTuber out there. The SEC you have to follow, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I kind of like Juwan Taylor at 6, though. I wouldn't bother me either. Although I do want to go defense. I really want defense in this draft. I don't know if Ed Oliver is a reach at 6.
Too risky.
I think the Giants, if Devin White's not there, if Kyler Murray's not there, there's a possibility they trade back and get more picks. If you could trade back with the Bengals or the Dolphins and grab, an Ed Oliver there, and then a Clelin Ferrell at 17 or Burns.
You definitely could.
I think that'd be good. I want to go defense. I'm like, go defense all 3 picks. I can never remember.
A corner to replace Jenkins next year?
Quarterback at 17, Baker at 17.
Mm-hmm. We need the tackle to compete. We need the right tackle.
Yes. So that's why I'm like, Juwan Taylor is not a bad option. If Cody Ford is there at 17, that's not a bad option. And then in the second round, if by chance Dexter Lawrence falls to us at 38, I'd love to get Dexter Lawrence. I hear talk about Daniel Jones at 17. I'll be pissed off if we take Daniel Jones at 17. I will be mad at that pick.
How about the second round, Daniel Jones?
I'm not a fan of Daniel Jones.
I don't think he has the skills. He has the personality, the head on his shoulders you would want going to Duke. I kind of agree with you. Now, if we did trade 6 and 17, for Kyler Murray, I mean, the one part that would be a shame about Kyler Murray if something crazy like that happens is then, Eli Manning is going to be, you're going to want to see Kyler immediately.
Well, yeah. It doesn't matter if it's Kyler or Haskins or Jones or if we drafted Drew Lock or anybody else. As soon as Eli Manning throws his first interception, crowd's going to be booing him. Crowd's going to want to see the kid. I don't think that's fair to Eli Manning, honestly. I mean, not that Eli Manning can't handle pressure, but it's got to be in the back of his mind. I don't care who you are, you're human. You're a human being. He's human. Even when he doesn't seem human because he never shows an emotion. But in the back of his mind.
He shows crazy, like, kind of negative.
Face, Yeah.
In
the back of his mind, he's got to be thinking when you got a rookie quarterback, man, as soon as if I throw an interception, they're going to want this kid. How much longer are they going to stay with me if I mess up? So, there's pressure there for him. And I don't want to see him go out. He's had such a great career. I don't want to see him go out where he's pulled for some kid and just sits on the bench for, last 5 games of the year or whatever.
Exactly, like a Tony Romo. At least, like, Romo was kind of hurt. But a lot of people want Eli to kind of mentor. And I think Eli is still I think Eli could still be a decent player. And the thing that Eli really needed to do better across his career, with Odell Beckham, Eli needed to handle that guy. He needed to become vocal at some point.
Right.
He's way too passive of a personality. His brother is different. Peyton Manning takes over everything about the organization and the locker room. Also, you could tell, like, Eli Manning, I was very ashamed that, John Mara and Eli Manning, they need to talk more as an owner and a quarterback. Because when the Geno Smith thing happened, Eli needed to he really needed to tell the Maras about Ben McAdoo, and there's no communication there from the quarterback at all. There's no relationship with Eli Manning. He is just the most passive guy. So I'm just excited and I think Odell Beckham really bullied Eli, kind of forced Eli to throw him the football. I'm just looking forward next year. I just want to see an offense that is just respectable, that can move the ball a little bit. I just want to be able to compete because there's so many games that are awful. The Redskins game before the bye week, the Saints game, there's no offense and no fight. And even though last year was okay, those teams were terrible that the Giants were beating. So I'm freaking worried. I'm still worried about the Giants a little bit with
of course. We've won 8 games in the last 2 years, and we've gotten rid of a lot of big pieces. And 2 of those big pieces are on our defense, which is horrible. So I mean, we have a lot of reasons to worry. I also agree with you. I definitely think Odell bullied Eli, and I think Eli had a tendency to force the ball to Beckham. I go back to the Eagles game. We were up 19-3, and the Eagles had made it 19-11, I think, and we were driving down the field there at the end of the half, and Eli forced the damn ball, and Odell Beckham in triple coverage, and Saquon Barkley was wide open in the flat. And he threw an interception, and that turned the whole game around because the Giants get about 26-11 going into halftime. We probably win that game. So I'm happy that he's not going to be forcing the ball to one particular receiver, where I feel like he had a tendency to force it to Beckham. So now it's whoever's open. If Tate's open, he's throwing it there. If Coleman's open, he's throwing it there. If Ingram's open, he's throwing it there. If Barkley's open, he's throwing it there. If Shepard's open, he's throwing it there. We don't need a superstar receiver to win games. We've never had that when we won the Super Bowls. We had good receivers. And Eli Manning located good receivers down the field. So exactly. I think the offense – I think we shore up the offensive line, even with Eli Manning, although I think it's time to move on from him, and it's time for new blood there.
Yeah, you made a video about getting rid of Eli Manning.
Yeah, well, it wasn't so much getting rid of him. It's why we kept him here. It's like, why the hell did we keep him? And I'm telling people why we kept him, because there really wasn't any other options. What were we going to do?
Exactly. The free agents are all gone.
What's that?
The free agents are gone. The $23 million is nothing.
Right. So, exactly. So, okay, if we brought in Ryan Fitzpatrick, can we take the $6 million cap and we're still paying $11 million? And what's he going to do? He's going to hold the spot for a year? So what's the difference?
Exactly. I'm much more on board with Eli. Eli's special. He has that knack of doing special things where Fitzpatrick and Case Keenum don't. Even Eli Manning at the end of games last year, whether it was the Carolina game, he gave us a chance to win.
Yeah.
The Colts game, he was in position. But again, like Eli Manning did clutch out against the 49ers. He knows the big moments. And that's why with Eli in this kind of final year of his career, he's still going to have something to prove. I'm still a little bit excited about this Giant season. I really am. So we have Baddog on the show here. And Baddog, for the last couple of minutes, I want to again thank you for coming on my show. And I wanted to ask you, like, about this whole stream team thing that you got with the Sports Fury, Chris the Entertainer. I want to ask about Baddog Boot Camp. And my first question is, like, for this conspiracy hour, for the whole stream team, tell everybody what it is about, and how are you going to prepare for that day?
Oh, I don't even – honestly, it's just 6 guys drinking. I don't really know what we're going to talk about. I don't think there's any – the rule is there are no rules. It is the Sports Fury, Josh and Sean, myself, the Entertainer Talking Sports, UCF Jaguar, and Philly 500. And I don't remember what it was. I was in a stream or something, and all these guys were in there. I'm like, it'd be awesome if the 6 of us just got together and streamed it. And it would be like the dream stream, because we do a lot of live streams. We do a lot of games together. We've all interacted. I'm like, it'd be fun to be able to act with all these guys at one time and just do it for hours and just, talk about whatever, talk about sports, talk about conspiracy theories, talk about whatever we want. And
is it going to stay up on the page, or could it be nonsense where it's gone?
What's that?
Could it be like nonsense where it's gone?
Oh, I think Sports Fury will keep that up there. It's going to be on their channel. So I think they'll keep it up for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talking
nonsense with Chris the Entertainer. I mean, you guys go in so many crazy directions with Chris the Entertainer. I mean, and it's funny, Baddog, like you recognized Chris early in this process, like even before Chris got big. And there was just something about the connection. Like, how did that start off with you and the Entertainer? And
it's funny. I don't know if he PM'd me on YouTube, or he might have just left a comment, said, "You want to work out?" I said, "Sure." And we were going to do a Giant show. It started on Tuesday nights. And something came up the first week. I remember something came up and I couldn't do it. And I'm like, man, I'm sorry. Can we do it next week? I can't make it. And he's like, sure. And I'm so glad that he said yes and didn't just say, oh, this guy blew me off. To hell with him.
Right.
We didn't go live the first time because he said, I just kind of want to see how it works. And we'll do it kind of like we're doing now. And
right.
The video up there. And the first time we did it, it just immediately clicked. We had really good chemistry. And people said that right in the comments. You guys have really good chemistry together. And I don't know. I think we're very similar. We're very similar in the way we look at the Giants. We're very similar personality-wise.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We've always had that. It just naturally clicked. So we started going live, and that show is growing. And, I'm excited to see next year when the Beckham thing happened last week, and we had 220 people. So when the season starts, I expect to have that on a regular basis, and I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yes.
One thing is, I don't know how it is. Like, he'll set me up for a joke, and I just throw the joke out there. It's like it's not even planned. It just we just feed off each other really well. I'm glad I found him.
Chris is like the ultimate point guard. He's
yes.
he's like a guy throws you up the oop, and
yep.
And Baddog, you're there with your football, man. You're hunkered down. You always have those chips there, man. I don't even know like what those chips are. Are they expired chips? Is that a prop back there? I mean,
this.
Yeah.
One night, no, they're not expired. One night, I think I had a bag there like that. I just left them there by mistake. And somebody said to me, Baddog, what is that, your sponsor? And I was like, oh, yeah, that's my Roll Gold sponsors me. So for a couple of weeks, I just left them there just for fun. And then they weren't there one week. And I was like, where's the Roll Golds? Where's the Roll Golds? Mm-hmm. So I started putting there. Actually, during the Oklahoma game, I think I had 2 bags of Flamin' Hot Cheetos there. I had everything set. I was so ready for that damn Oklahoma, Alabama.
That Oklahoma, man. You had that football, and that's where that epic, came from. The film review. So do you hold the football during the games in the house, or was that a rare occurrence?
No, it was just sitting next to me, and I was just they went down 28-0, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I waited a freaking month to watch my team get their ass beat when I thought that they could battle Oklahoma. And I was so mad I didn't know what to do, so I just picked that thing up and I just whipped it. I didn't know what to do. I was so angry.
Man, you sling it. Did you play QB when you played games, or were you more of like a slot receiver?
No, I was a cornerback wide receiver.
Cornerback.
Yeah.
Oh man, I bet a physical press corner.
Oh God, no! I was
in
in high school I was so scrawny. Oh my God, I was tiny. I was about 125
Didn't
pounds.
lift weights at all in high school?
No, I was a track runner, so they really discourage you from getting big on top.
Oh
So
my
I was more of
gosh.
a lower half guy, which is why my calves are as big as they are.
Yeah.
Because there's a lower half guy. That's what they wanted me to work on.
So funny,
and I couldn't
Baddog.
gain weight.
When you were in the TTC, like I always thought you were this tough, huge guy. Like I always thought you were jacked in high school, like the bully,
God, no.
varsity vest guy in high school.
No, God, no.
So when you were in the TTC,
but I was a very small guy.
The TTC was a completely different personality than high school then for you.
Oh, no. Well, no. I mean, I was always a trash talker. I mean, I just, when you play sports, you're going to be talked trash to, and you better know how to talk it back. You can't let people get in your head. So my job was always, you want to talk smack to me? Well, I'll give it back to you, and I'm going to get in your head.
Right.
And not to mention, people, whatever they say about me never bothered me. So I think that's a big reason why I succeeded in that format, because I always say my wife talks better trash to me than half the guys in the TTC did. She always insults me, and she's funny when she does it. So I'm used to it, and I got a good sense of humor. I can laugh at myself, so
that is
what's going to bother me?
That's what you have to do. And on YouTube with the Beckham news, I mean, it's gotten to the point almost where like I'm almost searching. I'm not going to say I'm searching for the dislikes, but I've made so many like once you make a couple of controversial videos, it's honestly such a great feeling, because when people are new to YouTube, they really, people talk about the thumbs down all the time.
Yeah.
And you always want to get your ratio pretty dang good. But once you just, take a dip into making a controversial video, you just feel so much better. And then you're like, who cares if people are going to dislike the comment? That's what this is all about.
This is all about being yourself and voicing your own opinion. And if people don't, I always say that if people don't agree with my opinion on the Giants, that's fine. I'm not going to get upset with them because they don't agree with me. I still take a lot of crap with the Kyler Murray stuff. They're like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. He's going to be a bust. I'd rather have Dwayne Haskins. That's fine. It's your opinion. I disagree with it, but I'm not going to tell a guy he's less of a Giants fan than me because he doesn't agree with my opinion. And I'm not going to be upset because he doesn't agree with my opinion. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
I think the Arizona Cardinals, by the way, are making a great move. I'm excited for Kyler Murray. I want him to ball out. And I think Arizona, even though they took Rosen, they kind of were forced to take Josh Rosen. So I think Kyler Murray is going to be pretty dang good for Arizona.
I think wherever he goes, he'll be good. I don't know what Arizona is going to do with Josh Rosen. If the Giants were to trade and get him for a second-round pick, I'd much rather have Josh Rosen for a second-round pick than Daniel Jones. I'll tell you that right now. I'd much rather have Rosen for 38 than Daniel Jones for 38. Even though I'm not even a big Rosen
trying to clean up the locker room, and Rosen's an iffy personality.
That's the one thing that really works. He's definitely talented, but that's something I mention all the time is up here, I don't know if he can handle New York. Eli Manning, he could handle New York very well because nothing bothered him. So if you're a sensitive guy and you're coming to New York and you're
Eli doesn't have a pulse. Eli doesn't have a pulse. There's nothing going on down there.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And that's what makes Eli so great. And in the clutch moments, he's numb, and that's what makes it so special. Baddog, I just want to thank you, man, for coming on the show. I know we got off to a late start tonight, and dude, I want to do this every 2-3 weeks, especially if there's huge Giants news, man.
Absolutely.
I want you to get on my channel a lot more, and you got to give me more film reviews, man, because
I'll do my best.
I need to stare at that, and I need that film review. But, dude, thanks so much for coming on, man. It means a lot.
Thank you so much for having me on, and I definitely look forward to working with you more again in the future, man. I love talking Giants with you, and this is awesome. So thank you.
No doubt, man. It's great seeing you in the chat. My super chat game, I got to get the credit card up and running again. But I usually only do it for Chris. Your channel's not like Chris the Entertainer. You know,
right.
You know that, right?
I got you.
All righty, bro. Take care.
All right, you too.